On behalf of the University of Hawaii, Maui College, and the Pacific Radio Group, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to Decision 2012. My name is Fred Guzman, and I will be serving as moderator for a series of primary election candidate forums originating from the studios here at the UH Maui College campus. Joining me on the set are three current students at the University of Hawaii Maui College. Their role is to ask questions of the candidates that we have here as well. This particular session will feature candidates for the county council. There's many of them, and the result of that is because some of them are running for the Wailuku seat and others for the Kahului seat. In no particular order, I would like to introduce those panelists to you. They are, from the far right, Yvette Sakamoto, Emily Howlett, and Stephanie Harrison. Thank you very much for joining us. Before we begin, I'd like to essentially explain the ground rules to our candidates. Each candidate will receive a 1-minute opening statement. After that, the panelists will ask each of you a question. We'll start at it with a different person with each of the questions. You'll have 1 minute to respond to that question. We ask you to look right in front of you. There are lights there. The green light denotes you can speak, obviously. When you see the yellow, that gives you 15 seconds to conclude your remarks. And we'll let you complete a thought, but if you go on too much, the moderator may have to interrupt you, and we hope that's not the case. So what we'd like to do at this point is introduce the candidates that are here today. Thankfully, all of the candidates agreed to appear here. From the Wailuku Council seat, the candidates include Joseph Blackburn, Lisa Gapero, and the incumbent Michael Victorino. And for the Kahului Council seat, Alan Fukuyama, Don Guzman, no relation, and Aaron McLaughlin. Thank you all for joining us here today. So what we'll do now is begin with Mr. Blackburn, and then we'll continue down the panel. Your opening statement, sir.
Okay. Aloha. I'm Joe Blackburn, a candidate for Maui County Council. Born and raised in Hawaii, I graduated from Marano High School. Earned a bachelor's degree in business administration from California State University of Chico, and returned home. Moved to Maui, where I started a 32-year career in public safety as a police officer, fire rescue captain, and a safety director. Continued my education while working, earning a bachelor's degree in public fire administration and a master's degree from the University of Hawaii at Maui Community in higher education administration. Why am I running for a county council? It's because of you. We're going through the toughest time in our community since the Great Recession. My wife and I started a small business in 2008, and we manage over 700 homeowners. Basically, we know the challenges that people are facing. They're losing their homes, their jobs, and all the rates and costs are still going up. And we need to get a hold of this. I served the community for 32 years and want to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin.
Hello, I'm Aaron McLaughlin. I arrived here on Maui in 1999. I fresh out of college. I graduated from Central Michigan University. I was a high school teacher at Baldwin High School for 11 years. And when I got out of education, getting into politics was really not what I had in mind. What I really wanted to do was open up a small business. What I discovered in trying to open a small business was the restrictions, for trying to start a small business are very difficult, and it's really, really hard for anyone who wants to start a small business. And I just was, wondering, what can we do about this? And I, tried talking to other politicians, and, one day somebody suggested to me, why don't you just run for office? And I'm like, no way, but then I thought about it, and I said, yeah, you know what, it makes sense. I can do this. And my plan's real simple. make more by bringing in more small businesses, spend less by cutting the size of government.
Thank you very much, Ms. Capero.
Aloha, my name is Lisa DePero, and I'm running for the second time for the county seat council for Wailuku, Waihe'e, and Waikapu. I recently returned back to college and received my degree here from UH Manoa in your outreach program. So I'm very proud of everything that the students and instructors do here at the college. And I want to continue to support their efforts and any other things that they incorporate into the education of our people here on Maui. Most of my life, I was a small business owner here and in several other states on the continent. I support small businesses. I know that the state of Hawaii, and especially Maui County, has very restricted rules for participating in self-employment. I'd like to see some of that change and make people getting out of college especially be able to get out on their own.
Aloha, I'm Don Guzman, and I'm running for the Kahului seat for the County Council. Just a little bit about myself. I'm age 42 years old. I'm married. I have 3 wonderful children, and my family truly believes that we're blessed to live on Maui. One of the reasons why I am running for a county council is to make sure that our children have a better future, a brighter future. Your children, my children, your grandchildren have adequate jobs and better opportunities in the future. My background is I graduated from college about 20 years ago, Creighton University. I went off to law school and became an attorney. Prior to practicing law, I served as a legislative aide with Tom Okamura at the State House, as well as working under Congresswoman Hirono as her Maui field representative. So in terms of being experienced and qualified, I'm more than willing to do the job and ask for your support in doing so. Thank you.
Mahalo, and aloha Maui. I first of all like to thank the students, Maui Community College, Maui University of Hawaii, Maui campus, for and the Pacific Radio Group for allowing us this opportunity to get together and discuss different issues that plagues Maui. I was born and raised in the islands. I lived in Hilo, and I moved to Maui in 1973. I've had the opportunity of attending when it was Maui Community College, and spent 3 years taking up business administration and law. I look forward to continuing to serve the people of Maui County. We have now beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's a little dim light, but we are making progress. And this council, along with a lot of the administration, and I've been very thankful to work with both the council members and the present administration in changing some of the laws that we have been talking about to improve efficiency and make small businesses a lot more appropriate. But it's just not small businesses, it's diversifying our economy and giving opportunities in renewable energy and other areas, high-tech, for the people, especially our people coming out of college. And we've supported this college in many ways from the County Council. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to first say thank you for the invitation. I am excited to be among some of Maui's future leaders, whether it be in government or in business. The backbone of our community rests still with the people. That is why I feel I decided to run for the office again. I am a former small business owner, and I understand the tough times that these businesses are going through. And I would like to become a part of the decision to make it more feasible for small businesses to come to Maui and open up in our wonderful island here. Aloha.
Again, what we'll begin with our panelists here. They'll ask a question. We'll begin with you, Mr. Blackberry. The second set of questions will begin with Mr. McLaughlin, and so on and down the line. The question will be asked, and each of you will have an opportunity to answer that specific question. Are we all ready? Well, thank you very much. So we'll begin the questioning. The first question will be submitted by Ms. Sakamoto.
Here at University of Hawaii Maui College. My first question is, if elected, specifically, what spending deficiencies do you plan on eliminating, and how, and why do you think these deficiencies exist?
Yvette, you mean as far as budget overruns and costs? Overtime, definitely overtime. The problem we're having right now with a lot of departments in the county is we spend money, extraordinary amount of money for overtime. 2010, I just went over 3 departments and there was over $10 million in overtime spent. If you're a small business person right now, you don't spend money on overtime, you're just surviving. How can I do this and how can I change it? I worked in the departments. I worked in a parks department. I worked in a fire department. I worked in a police department. I know where the money's going. I know how to save the money. And that would be my goal, is to sit there and look at these budgets and make them a little bit more efficient. I think that's critical right now. Also, increase technology so that people can be more productive at their positions. Again, that's what we're doing now as small business people. Thank you.
And Mr. McLaughlin?
I agree with what he just said, but I also what I would do is I would go through the government and see where, in a sense, we got 3 people changing a light bulb, and then that's where I would start to make some reduce the size of government that way. Like, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Now, this is an example of state in that county, but it proves what I'm talking about. Like right now I'm a substitute teacher, while I'm, trying to get things going. So every year when I renew to become a substitute teacher, I drop off my application at the district office. Then it goes to like 3 or 4 different agencies before they finally approve my. So basically, you got 3 or 4 people changing the light bulb, and that to me is overspending, and that needs to stop. The other thing we need to do is I've seen it too many times. With all these special interests or quote-unquote good causes, go up there and just get handouts and get it from the council. And I'm all for supporting good causes, but it is not the government's responsibility to do that.
And Ms. Capero?
That's a very good question, Yvette. I would like to see, just from a creative side, is your directors and your assistant directors of the different departments, as well as the mayor's office and the county council. They're spending taxpayers' money, and I would like to see them voluntarily, or encourage them more than voluntarily, to take a pay cut. I would like to see it at 20%.
You're dreaming there, Lisa. I'd like to see it, but you're dreaming. 10%.
Because if you look at the salaries of your directors, the mayors, the people in the mayor's office, and the county council, 10% is not a lot of out-of-pocket money, really. And I think this is a way that would show the county that we are being fiscally responsible with your hard-earned money. And this is a step we need to take in leadership. And I'm asking for your vote to do that.
And Mr. Guzman?
Oh, thank you. Fiscal responsibility, that's one of our number 1 priorities here in the County of Maui. Number 1, I believe that we should have efficiency in our operations, exactly by cutting out overtime, as well as cutting some of the fat of the government.
Oh, Joe said the first point, I said the second point, just for clarification.
Our budget is done in terms of our special interest groups. It needs to be more transparent, more of a cost efficiency, more beneficial analysis done. We also need to look and make use of our cost of government commission that does recommendations, as well as allowing that commission to do assessments, as well as performance assessments, and match those up with the audits in terms of how beneficial those programs are, and the departments that actually use certain budgets for various equipment and so on and so forth. So all in all, I think what we need to do is make sure that we have a more cost-efficient, more fiscal responsible budget, as well as a county council.
Okay. Mr. Victorino?
Thank you very much. And that's a wonderful question. And something I've dealt with for the past 6 budgets. Last year, we cut almost $8.2 million off the mayor's budget, and the year before, over $61 million. So we are fiscally prudent. We are the strongest county in the entire state. We are not selling assets to pay our debts. We are doing very well. Well, we understand that it costs well over $3,111 per resident. All 143,000 of you on this county to keep police, fire, all the core services operating. Let me say about overtime. The $10 million that was brought up, most of it is police, fire. These are people that when there are tragedies, it's not 9 to 5, excuse me. It is anytime, anywhere. And Mr. Blackburn should know that. First of all, you got to be prepared to get those people out there and protect our public. And it's very, very important to understand that. Overtime is something we've cut many times in many areas. But in core services, that's one of the areas I refuse to cut. Because when you call for policemen or firemen, you want them to be there to help you in a time of need. So that's one of the things I think has to be really clarified. Thank you.
Mr. Fukuyama.
I think one of the most publicly peeve for most people is the use of county vehicles
I like you, Alan. You have a hard time, though.
on an unofficial basis. And I think just by controlling the use of these vehicles, the county can save millions right off the bat. Whether it be liability, expense on fuel, maintenance on the cars. By limiting the use of these vehicles, I am sure we can save millions right off the bat. Along cutting the mayor's budget by $61 million, unforeseen liabilities like suits because of negligence, lack of care, people getting hurt in the park. That's another thing we need to stress to these employees. It is very important for us to care for our facilities so people don't get injured and we don't have to pay for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the next round of questioning will begin with Ms. Howlett, and